welcome to the Energetics of Astrology video for the Leo solar cycle beginning July 22nd, 2021 and ending on August 22nd. This video is going to be quite different than the others, hopefully in true Leo fashion, a little more drama and theatrics. It will be presented in 3 acts. In the first act, I will cover the energetics of Leo. The second act will include the transits for the solar cycle presented as a story of the gods. And for the third act, I have a very special surprise for you. So let's get to it. As you know, the Sun is at the center of our galaxy, and all the planets orbit around this life giving sphere. The sign of Leo, which is ruled by the Sun, is the zodiacal representation of this special energy. And much like the Sun, Leo easily takes front and center stage. Leo is represented by the lion, who is often referred to as the king of beasts. And if you have a lot of Leo energy in your chart, or you know others who do, then you know how much the lion likes attention. It is associated with all kinds of things, including royalty, leadership, generosity, drama, music, theater, the arts, fun, children, romantic encounters, creative expression, courage, and play. So we are going to begin with Act 1, and here we set the tone of this video through exploring Leo's energetics. Leo's hot, dry energy lovingly and generously radiates up and outwards. Like the sun, it is concentrated with a vital life force that must be creatively expressed. It is a fixed fire sign, making it tenacious and a bit stubborn at times. Leo knows the world is a stage, and they are here to play a leading role. And by the way, all of you Leo sun signs out there, I want to wish you a very happy birthday. So Leo governs these vital areas of the body. The heart that guides our path and pumps life-giving blood through the rest of the body, the spine, and all of the things that give us our backbone and the courage and strength to rule whatever we seek to master. It specifically governs the thoracic vertebra of the spine, which bolster the heart. It is associated with our eyes and the ability to focus on our clear vision. The nucleus, or the center of each cell, falls under Leo's rulership, which carries our genes and structures that contain the heredity of our bloodlines. It also correlates with the energy of our blood, our vitality, and the spleen, which is powered by heat and has everything to do with keeping us at our best. The psychology or mental functions of Leo are what contributes to this sign's flair and fury. Leos are natural born leaders who can possess or inspire in others any and all of these qualities to varying degrees. In this sign's higher vibration, we are loving, generous, charismatic, encouraging. We have leadership ability. We're creative, confident, playful, and on purpose. We take risks. We're loyal, optimistic. We have a strength of will. We are inspiring and inspired. And in the lower expression, we can be expressing these qualities. We could be arrogant, dominant, narcissistic, have an inflated ego or a suppressed ego. We can be a bit demanding or tyrannical, grandiose, exhibitionary, melodramatic, purposeless. We can have an inflated pride. We can seek attention in maybe not the best ways, and we can be a little full of ourselves. So well, these things may seem more obvious in people with a strong Leo influence in their chart. We all have this lion in us somewhere. So the mantras for this sign and this solar cycle are: use your special destiny to serve your tribe. A great heart will not be denied. Creativity is contagious. Pass it on. The sole purpose of Leo is to experience and play with ego involvement, passion, our legacy, recognition, self actualization, creative expression, the eternal child energy, the sense of destiny, achievement and pleasure, and keeping the flame of life burning. And now we are on to Act 2. The transits of the Leo solar cycle 2021. In this story, we follow the conversation of the gods as they traverse the landscape of the zodiac and encounter each other. It is important to remember that this tale began long ago when the gods and goddesses ruled over the affairs of all humans everywhere. And while these characters have been primarily relegated to myth, their archetypal energies still live on in the cosmos and in each of us through our unique celestial makeup. This is a glimpse into the ever unfolding and ongoing interactions taking place for this brief period of time. So we begin on July 22nd, when the glorious giver of light, the sun, made its way into the golden kingdom of the lion. It was a hot summer's day in many parts of the northern hemisphere. Much work had already been done, and it was time for play and celebration. It had been an interesting year so far. Many people of the world seemed to be at odds with themselves and each other all over the globe. They couldn't seem to agree on anything in epidemic proportions. There was the usual goings-ons and dramas, with many unusual twists and turns. While last year had been full of upheaval and change, like many had never seen, thanks in part to the coronavirus and politics, a large part of those things, this year could also be described as wonky and erratic. Don't get me wrong, there was still inspiring beauty and good things happening amidst the chaos and unfolding transformation. And now the sun was shining through the warm hearted, bold, radiating light of Leo. On the same day, Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, was visiting the harvest lands of Virgo when she softly opposed forces with the king of Roman gods, Jupiter, who was backtracking through the ethereal, watery realm of Pisces. Their conversation, while not very focused, was not all that unpleasant. Venus focused on the details and Jupiter on the big picture. They did not necessarily see eye to eye, though they both seemed willing to come towards the middle. The next day of the 23rd of July, the moon shone full under the revolutionary humanitarian influence of Aquarius. There was a supportive frequency for all individuals to see their part in the whole. And another thing that made this moon special is in this Leo solar cycle, we have two Aquarius moons, this being the first one. The following day, on the 24th of July, the messenger Mercury made a harmonious connection with the ocean deity Neptune. Emotions and feelings transcended words. And the day after that, Mercury, who was still feeling the feels and the watery realms of Cancer sensitivities, picked up an adverse message from Pluto, the lord of the underworld. Pluto was still quite busy, taking his time transforming old structures in the traditional lands of Capricorn. Rome was not built in a day, nor was its fall rapid. Pluto, and Saturn as well, the lord of time and karma, had both played their roles in the empire's decline between the years of 395 AD through 476 AD, until Rome was no more. Though much of what occurred during that empire's rule heavily influences modern day life. So, on July 25th, 2021, when Mercury responded to Pluto with sharp words, Pluto methodically stood his ground. It was a bit intense, mentally, emotionally, and physically for some. A couple days later, on June 27th, Mercury left Cancer and arrived in the kingdom of Leo. The messenger was quite happy to be in the playful land of golden rays, and while there, he became much more animated and dramatic in his communications. On the 28th of July, Jupiter went back to the innovative, rebellious, humanitarian land of Aquarius, where he had been sojourning the earlier part of this year. Jupiter clearly came back to take care of some unfinished business, bringing opportunities and expansion to activists and rebels alike. The next day, the 29th of July, the warrior Mars entered the organized and practical land of Virgo, where he gave his energy and drive to chopping wood and carrying water, as it was very necessary for these times. On August 1st, Mercury, now in Leo, decided to oppose the serious and somewhat grim Saturn, whose sickle had been working in the fields of Aquarius since the beginning of this year. Now, I have to say, Saturn gets a bad rap because, well, he's not very fun. However, without him, there would be no manifestation of reality. No time, no winter, no serious limits, obstacles, or restrictions. Without Saturn, we'd probably all just go crazy jumping off cliffs or something like that. Anyways, Mercury and Saturn stared at each other from across the lands. Mercury, now hot and fiery in speech, Saturn cold and unyielding. As you can imagine, the conversation was at odds. And as if that wasn't enough, the sun came in the next day to oppose Saturn, shining warm, radiating light on whatever was in sight. The sun so desperately wanted to get Saturn to lighten up just as much as the Lord of Time wanted the sun to cool down and think about the collective. They went back and forth like that the whole day until the sun moved on to square off against the sky god Uranus, who had been slowly traversing Taurus, the land of plenty or the land of scarcity, depending on your view. It's worth mentioning that Uranus and Taurus has definitely been involved in some tense disruptions this year as it squares off against Saturn 3 times. So, now the Leo-infused sun got in on this action, wanting to shine the light on whatever conflicts were arising. Uranus responded in true Uranian fashion, out of the blue, bringing disruptions and unexpected shocks and surprises. Finally, the sun moved on to join forces with the moon on the 8th of August, still feeling that Uranus encounter. Yet, the new moon energy in the land of Leo was radiating with love, courage, vitality, generosity, playfulness, and sprinkles of drama. The day after the new moon, Venus found herself opposite the oceanic god Neptune, who was still swimming backwards in Pisces. Every time Neptune backtracks in his homeland, dreams and visions are so easily interrupted by reality. Anyways, this conversation between Venus and Neptune was muddled by confusion and disappointment in the relationship, which Venus in Virgo was quick to point out. There have always been days when good enough seems illusory, and for many this was one of them. So the next day Mercury came to a place in the land of Leo, and from that place is directly opposite Jupiter and Aquarius. When confronted with the god of all gods in the land of revolutionary change, Mercury's first inclination was to seek attention through the telling of one or two tall tales. In other words, messages were exaggerated, to the point that it did cause some trouble. Mercury left Leo the next day on the 11th of August, arriving at home base in Virgo, now able to concentrate at the tasks at hand, relying on reason and logic. Later that day, still in Virgo, Venus made a harmonious connection with Pluto. Passions were flowing, obsessions were growing. On August 16th, Venus gathered her things and headed home to the peace-loving, relationship-oriented land of Libra, where she happily used her natural talents to seek harmony and balance and justice for all. A few days later, Mercury snuggled up to Mars in Virgo, where practical problem solving was accomplished through logical action. Then, on the next day, the 19th of August, Uranus began to back. Hello, everyone. I am here with my friend Maria McCullough, and this is the grand finale for our video today, and Maria volunteered to sing and play a song for you that she wrote herself. And so I am going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Shelly.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. As I sing this song, I think you'll catch it, and you're welcome to join me in singing. The day you were born, the sun said, I love you, I love you. The day you were born, the sun said, I love you, always. The day you were born, the fire said, I love you, I love you. The day you were born, the fire said, I love you, always. The day you were born, the music said, I love you, I love you. The day you were born, the music said, I love you, always. I love you, always.
Yay! Thank you!
Thank you.
Yes,
I love you.
I just wanted her to come over and play the song so I could just love on her because I love her. Yeah, Maria also, she teaches music lessons, and you teach to kids mostly, right? Or do you do adults too?
Yeah, with adults too.
Oh!
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to have to take some lessons. So I will put her contact information on the next slide if you're interested. And thank you for watching. Okay.